Dudes in Space here, and we just watched Rogue One, and we want to tell you all about it.
Star Wars Episode 3.5, The Rogue One Awakens.
Yep, exactly. I'm Joshua.
I am Travis, and let me start off by saying I apologize for my lack of Star Wars knowledge. I am not a committed fan, as someone might assume.
You know, we used to have a committed fan.
No, we didn't. No, we used to have a poser. I did, however, bring some sour candy from the movie theater.
How much did you pay for this little tub of candy?
$19.
It was probably like $4 or $5, right?
It was $4.
Okay. I paid $13 for popcorn, Coke, and a candy.
Well, these are delicious. We're going to tell you what we think about Star Wars Episode 3. Is it really like? Are they going to tell it that?
It's after 3, but no, it's not in the numbered Star Wars. It's a Star Wars story.
Standalone. I'm really not doing so well with my terminologies and my words.
All right, so first of all, before we spoil things, I think maybe we should give a brief, just whether we liked it or not, just without spoiling.
Absolutely.
That sound good?
Yeah.
I really liked it. I think they hit the Star Wars feel pretty well. Mm-hmm. There were just a few things, and we'll get into it in spoiler territory, but CG was a little weird at times.
Spoiler alert.
That there's CG?
There's CG. People don't know that.
Surprisingly,
Spoiler
a lot
alert.
of practical effects, though, actually.
Spoiler alert. You just tell everybody exactly how they made the film. Look, everybody, calm down. From here on out, everything is a spoiler.
People die, they get the plans.
Right. Like, literally, everything we're going to say is going to spoil Star Wars. So if you don't like it, if you don't want to know, I don't care. You're probably not watching this video anyway, so...
I don't know. You'd be surprised. I'm watching a Star Wars review. They're not going to spoil things, are they?
I'm going to spoil my rating right now. I thought it was okay.
Okay out of what?
Okay out of fine. I mean, it was okay. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. It was okay. I'd watch it again, maybe.
Just overall, I think it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. I like it definitely better than Episode 7.
That's The Force Awakens?
Yes, The Force Awakens.
I like that one more.
Really?
Yeah. Once again, though...
I could see that as not being a Star Wars fan, you liking that more.
Yeah.
It was a little more swashbuckling, you know?
It was a pretty good standalone movie. I think this one was a good standalone movie. But I like the magic that the new one had. This one was more of just kind of a war film, which is fine.
Yeah, actually, more than any other Star Wars movie has been, which is strange considering the fact that Star Wars war is right in the name. Not a lot of warring, a lot of petitioning trade federations and that kind of.
I will say one thing that I have never understood about the Star Wars franchise is how they don't really sell you on the politics that everything is based off of. I don't really know what... And okay, and you can't say that this is deep down in the literature and the fan fiction and all the on-the-side comic books and novels and all that stuff. The movies alone have never really done a good job selling me on why the Empire and the Rebels are fighting.
Do you love fascism?
I do.
How? Well... That ruined that point.
Sorry. I mean, that's kind of what they throw at you. It's just kind of this general, like, it is the dictator versus the people, which is fine, but it just seems like if all these wars that we're so involved in, just give me a little bit of the juice. I want to know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm on the Empire side.
I think if you really did watch all 6 of them again, you would see more of that.
That being said, I haven't seen all 6 of them. I've only seen 4 of them. 5 of them, 6 of them now that I think about it. There's only 6.
Well, Force Awakens is 7.
I saw the first 3, which then turned into the last
original
3.
Trilogy, so you saw 4, 5, and 6.
And then I know as a young person, I saw The Phantom Menace. Mm-hmm. Then I saw the 2 last ones that came out. So I've seen 6 movies.
Okay. Yeah,
But I think I'm 2 prequels off. Because there were 3 prequels, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen 2 of them.
You're not missing a whole lot.
I've
Most
heard
people would
that I
say to
haven't.
skip them.
You know what? I'm going to go with a sour candy.
All right, so I'm just, before we dive in any further, I'm going to say the movie-going experience I'm reminded every time I go why I don't enjoy going. It's expensive.
It is expensive.
Although, not as many people there the day after Christmas as I thought there would be.
That's because everyone in the world went to the movies yesterday.
You're probably right.
Every single person that ever existed was at the Paradiso in Memphis yesterday.
It was a packed parking lot. I don't know what movies people were seeing. I guess everybody already saw Star Wars, so they weren't down for that.
Yeah, they had us shoved into the crappy backdoor cinema that they had repurposed just to show Star Wars on. Very sticky floors.
Luckily, they've upgraded all of them to 7.1. It looks like,
or at least they put it on the screen that they have.
It sounds like it. I can tell the difference. When it goes all around you. Sometimes it's just all around you.
Sometimes
but now it's like
I hear
all around you.
Sometimes I hear all you.
I think you got a speaker blown.
I think I got several blown. We're here to talk about the movie.
Yeah.
I'd like to discuss one thing right off the top.
Sure.
Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. We already did that.
Okay. Again, reiteration of the spoiler alert. That face on Princess Leia.
Ooh, yeah, that was the worst part of the movie.
So, okay.
She looked like she got stung by a bumblebee. Or a whole swarm of them, maybe.
Okay, so they towards the end of the movie, they get the disc to somebody, and it reveals that it's Princess Leia, which leads you into the first Star Wars film. And it's a beautiful shot. She turns around, it's her face, and of course it's been CGI'd to be her face, similar to the way that they did Patrick Stewart as Professor X in one of the Wolverine movies. Similar to the way they've done what else?
In Tron.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of creepy.
The problem that I have with this is that I think by them making it completely CGI,
yes,
it loses the reality of a face. So you know it's not real.
You would think we would be there by now. With all the money
we have to be there right now.
That Disney has, they can make monkeys look more human than people.
Why wouldn't they just make a mask or something and then... I don't know. It just seems like once you've completely computer animated a human face and then you do a close-up of it in beautiful HD, you lose the mannerisms that we're so used to seeing that you immediately think, oh, well, that's fake as hell. And that's the part that gets me, because I realize that after so much money, the millions of dollars that they have to spend on the CGI budget, there's a guy who's like, oh, well, here's the big Princess Leia reveal. How's that look? And they're like, it's okay. Let's go with it.
So you said you didn't really notice that Grand Moff Tarkin
was
CG. Yeah.
I didn't pay a lot of attention to
Played by Peter Cushing, who has passed on. He was old in the original trilogy, so it makes sense that he
I noticed that he looked weird, but I think at no point did he look... I noticed that he looked really unnatural.
He was lit darker most of the time because they were in one of the ships. I think they really didn't have to show his face that much. I think they could have gotten away with showing it a lot less.
When you told me that he was CGI, that's something. Why do you have so much screen time?
Yeah.
Like, is his family really trying to cash in on his likeness or something?
I don't know why they felt like they had to do that.
That's a character and a story arc that they didn't really have to pay royalties to or for.
Or you recast them. Just get them like a big name tag. GMT.
Can you recast someone in a franchise as big as this?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like a B character for sure.
Yeah.
But they can't just boom new Han Solo and it's not Harrison Ford.
I mean, they're doing young Han Solo.
That's different though. Actually, no, it's not. Because he was like 20-something in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Han Solo, the teenage years.
They could have recast old Han Solo by that logic.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. What are you doing, Disney?
But it so happened that Han Solo was old.
To make these decisions for you?
All right, let's look at our list of things we wanted to discuss.
Absolutely. So I knocked out that crappy CGI for sure.
Yeah. Everything else, though, looked pretty good.
That was a gorgeous film.
It was just those faces they tried to recreate. Not fun.
At no point was I ever pulled out of the cinematic universe until that one point where I'm like, that face ain't real, and I've been looking at aliens. That is not a woman face.
Do you want to talk about the name of the movie in the movie?
Oh, yeah. And you know it's going to happen, right? You know.
Well, for one, because you're like, what does Rogue One mean? Rogue One. I don't get why they named this movie Rogue One.
This happened. I went and saw the movie Sing the other night, and this happened to me where they go and there's a real big build up to it where one of the characters go like, you know what we should do? We should pause, practically look into the camera, sing. And at that point I'm just like, my heart blows up because I'm like, that's the name of the movie. So
do you enjoy that?
I do. I love it when they say the name of the thing in the thing. It's so good.
It worked in Rogue One because you're like, oh, that makes sense now.
The acting on that part,
yeah,
did feel a little forced. I don't know if you've seen it. If you've seen it, maybe you agree with me. Maybe you don't.
Haven't seen it. Maybe don't watch this video unless you just don't care.
But how's he doing? They're looking for a call sign when they're stealing the ship from the rebels.
Right. Just say something.
And they're like, just say anything. And he's like,
Rogue.
Say anything. One. And of course, the audience erupts in thunderous applause. Not in our theater. I assume it did happen in your theater. They said the name of the movie. He could have literally just been like, say anything. He just looks at the camera. Star Wars, Rogue One. Would have been hilarious, and I would have loved it.
I didn't mind it. I could see how that could offend some people, though. Let's go with how much death there is in this movie.
There's a good amount.
Man, people die all over the place.
Spoiler alert! Everyone dies.
Not everyone.
Pretty much anyone of consequence in this movie.
I mean,
dies.
they were in one city on one planet.
All the people
there were two cities
that you developed feelings for.
Sure.
This Rogue One squad of.
What about Darth Vader? You didn't develop feelings for Darth Vader? Which easily one of the best scenes in the movie.
Oh, for sure.
Where he just starts wrecking.
Yeah.
Wrecking fools. Yeah. Trying to get the plans back.
Very, very stereotypical. Exactly how you think it would happen too. Pitch black, looking down the hallway.
You just hear.
You hear. And then lightsaber comes out, red glow.
And it just goes like this to block their bullets.
Bullets are deflecting. Pew, pew, pew.
Force chokes a couple fools.
Shooting them in their own face. I don't know how, but it's magic. And then, of course, he doesn't get the little data drive.
No.
And that message makes it all the way to Princess Feka.
Okay, this leads me to another point. The references in this movie. Like, you know there are going to be some because it bumps almost directly up to episode 4.
For sure.
Hence the Leia part. Like, directly after that, she's on the ship, the Trade Federation ship, I believe, and gets caught by Darth Vader with the plans, sends R2-D2 C-3PO onto the planet.
Hoth?
No,
Hoth?
definitely not. It's the opposite of Hoth. We were talking desert instead of snow. Let's just not. No,
hold on. Let me test my Star Wars knowledge.
I can't tell you if it's right is the problem. So anyway, and then that leads right up to it. So there are a lot of references. Yeah. You do see C-3PO, R2-D2 at one point.
What? Really? I didn't see them. Where were they?
That may have been when you got up to Tatooine.
I had to take a potty break in which something definitely happened and Darth Vader was revealed.
While he was out, we got to see that Darth Vader is apparently living in Mordor. Because it totally looked like Sauron's tower with the lava and everything flowing through it, right on the edge of Mount Doom.
Yeah, and I literally come back and sit back down to like,
it's Darth Vader.
I'll see you later. I'm Darth Vader.
That was good times. He just looked over, was like, what happened?
It's also the longest pee of my life.
What other references were there?
He did throw a reference over to finding that one lost Jedi from way back when over on that planet.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Talking about old Ben.
Old Ben Kenobi.
Old
was that
Uncle
his name?
Ben.
Doesn't give us a name though.
No, they want to keep it vague.
They're like, he went into hiding years ago.
And then they're like, find somebody you trust to get the message. I trust her with my life. Of course, talking about Leia.
And this is coming from the King of Alderaan dude. Yeah. Which is...
King of Alderaan dude. Who was in Dexter.
Yeah.
The good role in Dexter.
Yeah, so they gave us a nice couple homages to the other Star Wars movies, which I appreciate. I'm sure a bigger fan would appreciate more.
There was they threw at least one that I noticed. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, yeah.
Which gets said
as the door was closing
in many, many Star Wars movies.
Yeah, they shut him up right before the end of it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. How about the ending? You want to get the ending out there?
Let's talk about the ending. I love ambiguous endings.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know if they died or not. We can't be sure, but we do know that they were absorbed into the light.
I'm pretty sure they died.
You can't see. No, that's what they want you to think. A big atomic bomb goes off, or giant Death Star laser bomb goes off.
So in what episode do we find out they survived? Because 4, 5, 6, and 7 so far have
follows
made
a different story. Though.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're looking for probably Star Wars episode 6.5. So we're going to see what they were doing. But yeah, so the bomb goes off. They're embracing each other in this totally out of nowhere love story, and they are then absorbed into the light at the beach.
It's a beautiful.
I think
scene.
that's how they tied in the Force as a religion, in a likeness to Christianity. They're lifted up into the light to live forever in eternal salvation.
I made a direct comparison to Halo Reach.
Yeah, for
Did you play Halo Reach?
Yes.
Okay, so Halo Reach is much like Rogue One. You know what's going to happen before everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
And pretty much the same. I feel like they're trying to get some information or plan off the planet in the same way.
You're still committed.
Yeah, and it's more of a character story at that point.
You've got to take your knowledge of the franchise as a whole, and you know what's supposed to happen here, but you just got to focus in on this small part.
Who's your favorite character?
Definitely Adrian Brody.
He wasn't in that movie.
Oh.
Could you be talking about?
No, I'm going to go with Lashif from Casino Royale.
Oh, you mean director Orson Krennic?
No, it was Lashif. He had a big eye scar.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Really good at poker. No, I'm going to say that my favorite character was definitely the female lead, Jen.
Are you just saying that to be popular on the internet?
Absolutely. Who am I kidding? We only have 17% female viewership.
We already talked about this. You liked Chirrut Imwe.
He was definitely the coolest. I like how in this galaxy far, far away, they have still
Long ago,
they've still made it a point to give everyone...
Yes?
What's the word when you describe how someone is based on their looks, appearances?
Races?
I wouldn't call it races.
It's clearly race.
But apparently there was an Asia in a Star Wars. And I don't know why I would expect that they would just completely race wash, an entire universe. But
they could fix that by just making everyone white.
No? They could. No, I mean, I think it was really interesting that they did tie in this new Eastern kind of form of the Force.
Well, originally that's where the inspiration was taken from for Star Wars was from Japanese film. I feel like a lot of the names, the story in particular, the way the Force works. But yes, a lot of that was taken from Japanese film.
More so than just the look and the appearance of it, which is totally cool. I totally love that art style.
Lightsabers, samurai, that whole thing.
The martial arts was tied into this one. It was like a kung fu version of the Force,
that guy
which is super cool.
Is in a lot of martial arts movies. He was the star of, I believe, the IP Man movies. You ever seen those? I think there's 3 of them. But anyways, he's not his first time doing martial arts in a relatively large film.
I liked it, though, and I like the tie-in. I hope that it continues. I don't think it will.
Yeah.
But this was a nice little twist to that they could do in a self-contained thing.
Was one of the best fight scenes. Well, I mean, really one of the only
was his reveal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good.
And then I really did also enjoy the buddy combat between him and his partner.
Yeah. And then they
went out together
like an old couple.
That's what I was getting a very romantic vibe between them. Of course, they didn't really, they didn't push that.
They were brothers in the Force.
It was beautiful. I thought also, of course, I'm always going to be rooting for a happy ending where everyone lives and just, totally demolishes the bad guy. That's just not the way they make movies anymore. Everyone you love dies in order to tug at your heartstrings. Works every time. I get so upset. Everyone died.
I really liked the comedic relief in K2SO.
Yeah, that was some good stuff.
Pretty good.
There was one really good. Actually, right off the bat, whenever she kills the one robot, and he just immediately like,
did you know that was me?
And then again, when he said, "I'll support you," and then she's like, "Oh, thank you," and he's just like, "Because I've been told to."
Yeah. He had more than a handful of one-liners that were really funny.
I think also though he was the only comedic effect.
Oh yeah. Everything else in that movie was pretty dead serious.
Super heavy. I really liked how well they played against your ability to trust a few of the characters for the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that it was nice. It kept me on the edge of my seat. But in the end, you can trust everybody that's on the Rogue One squad because they are a big, happy family.
So I think, as far as favorite character, the robot may have been it, just because he was the most different.
His... spoiler alert, he does die, as does everyone.
That was one of the more sad parts of the movie.
He actually gets his own death, though. So,
definitely.
There were a couple big dogs that kind of went out all at the end there.
Least favorite character was definitely, for me, Forrest Whitaker's character. I'm blanking on his name.
I like anything that Forrest Whitaker does, no matter what.
They don't have his name listed here. I forget what it was. Anyway, He's bad in all movies to me.
How?
He's just something. He pulls me out of it every time. I'm always like, oh, that's Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, okay. I agree to that 100%, but I like Forrest Whitaker. So then I'm like, oh, it's Forrest Whitaker.
He's always got that lazy guy thing going on that creeps me out.
It's not a thing.
It's a thing.
He just literally has a lazy eye.
Oh, that's not. He doesn't just play that in every movie. No, in this movie, I want to have a lazy eye.
They have to write it in. It's like, I'm really flat unless I have a lazy eye. Then people love it.
But yeah, he was bad. And then I get that he was like older, and so he was like on death's door with the ventilator and stuff.
That was weird.
And he had the weird voice.
His voice was a little
bad voice. I don't know what he was doing there.
That was way cooler than his voice.
It was
bad.
It
was a little like squeaky. Like at the very beginning, before his reveal.
Yeah, that was
I thought
fine.
It was someone putting a fake voice on to confuse, the guy in the hood and make him think it was someone else. But it reveals him. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
I don't know. I just didn't like anything about that character. Totally pulled me out.
My least favorite character was the main antagonist in this film.
The main antagonist.
Old.
You talking about the guy in the white?
Yes, sir.
Director Orson Krennic? Yeah, Krennic. That was him.
I thought the acting was kind of flat. He was kind of a weenie. He never really got a chance to become a real, true Billy badass.
Oh, I said the wrong person earlier when you were talking about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Galen Urso. I was talking about the other guy. Got that backwards. Apologies.
It's okay. No one's fact checking here.
Oh yeah, they are. They're already writing comments.
Overall, though, is there any other topics we want to hit on?
I think just a general overview again. Finish it out.
Sure, for sure. I think it was a fun movie. I think it was a good standalone movie. You can follow the story pretty easily, not knowing anything else in the universe.
But it's definitely improved if you're familiar with at least the events of Episode 4, I would say.
Which one is that?
That's the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that entire experience that I can't just call them the first 3 movies.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing. You could just pretend that the prequels don't exist. Although Episode 4 is how most people would probably know it.
That's stupid.
But overall, they nailed the feel of Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Even though it was on, for the first time, like a beach setting.
Yeah.
That's new for Star Wars. They had some beach troopers in their tan.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Yeah. I thought especially the opening space scene, it felt really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
But in a good Star Wars way. Like the ships, the first time you see the ships, the first space sequence, really, really authentic Star Wars stuff. It doesn't look real at all. It looks like someone's playing with Legos.
I think they nailed the grit of Star Wars. It's not as gritty as the original, but then again, it's not.
I didn't see any slow white
That's
reveals.
true. I didn't notice any of
I
those.
figured it was just one, at least.
There's a lot of maybe too shaky cam going on sometimes.
Huge battle sequences.
But overall, they really did nail the feel
Whoa,
of
hold
it.
on. We forgot to talk about stormtroopers that have accurate shots.
They killed a lot of people.
Yeah, just right off the bat, they're like, hey, we're stormtroopers.
Then again, there's a lot. The first time I remember ever seeing a Star Wars, there was just like some straight up headshots, just like, poof, just like right in the head. I'm like, oh,
and no matter how much Star Wars that I watch, I will never be satisfied that a blaster kills somebody because it doesn't leave an explosive exit wound.
It cauterizes the wound as it goes in, so there's no blood.
It also just makes it look like there's not a wound.
Yeah, there should be blood everywhere.
I want to see someone's chest explode.
You think they'll ever do that rated R Star Wars? No. Like they did a rated R Marvel movie?
Nah, I don't think so. Maybe whenever Star Wars becomes normalized because it's becoming super popular right now.
Well, they're putting out a movie a year. They can spare one to be adult only. But then you've got kids. That would
really take it out of the... Just all of a sudden, like they're chopping necks with lightsabers and stuff like that. I don't know.
I don't know how they would do it.
I'm down.
It worked for Deadpool.
Like they just cuss more?
Yeah. Sure. They still bleep it out.
One romance scene, perhaps?
Yes. By romance you mean sex.
And they're definitely going to be robots.
No, it's just two people at a table, just candlelit dinner, one romance scene.
I love you. I love you too.
Rated R. So yeah, I guess that's it. Overall, I really liked it. I would probably rate it like a good 4 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, solid.
I'd go 4 out of 5.
And I probably in my top 3. It'll definitely top 4 Star Wars movies. Maybe top 3 though.
Sure.
I really liked it a lot.
I don't have a list like that. I will say that it feels really good to support smaller and more independent movie studios such as this one. So these, I know a lot of people are feeling like Disney might not need your money, but they need to know that you support, this IP. And I think we need to get out there and watch these movies time and time
6,
again.
7 times.
Yeah, just to really, drive home the fact that we support, these studios. And I think that's just something beautiful that we can do.
All right, well, that was Dudes in Space Discusses Star Wars Rogue One. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments below.
I'd love to hear your opinions and educate me on some Star Wars. I'm down.
Smash that like button for Star Wars.
And just smash it just with 2 hands. Smash.
Yeah, smash it for...
Wookiees.
Yeah, smash it for Wookiees.
Yeah, no Wookiees in this one, but let's smash it to get some Wookiees.
All right, we'll see you guys in the future.
Take it easy.
Bye. Hi, if you like this video, please click the like button, click the subscribe button, and tell all your friends. And check out one of these videos. If you want to support the show, click the Patreon link.